Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Battle Brothers Season 3. As today we've got our new gear officially distributed. Nothing too dramatic, but a few minor upgrades here and there, some fatigue levels balanced out. Arrow now has a proper longbow. I don't think I highlighted that last time around. And I think it's time for us to start officially migrating our way south. Though, before we do, I think we will do one last loop on these towns here just to eke out a little extra gold, grab some extra trading goods. Those should sell for a premium once we're further south. Plus, we do still have that hostile camp ambition that we need to clear, so hopefully we can finally find a nice barbarian camp to take down. But, we'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed. And Agerstead. 2 contracts in offing. No notable rumors in the local tavern. Bunch of stuff we can't afford. Nothing all that notable on recruits. How are local prices? Oof, not great. Right, because of the snowstorm. Okay, let's check local work. A man walks up to you and holds a scroll halfway between he and you. My name is Harold, representative of Asbjorn the Younger, and speaking on behalf of the good people of Agerstead. We seek your services, mercenary. You step into Asbjorn the Younger's room, and he shoves a map into your face. I'm in need of a soldier and explorer, sellsword. I know of a place by the name of Ruined Farmhouse, but I know not where it is, other than it resides southeast of here in this strip of land called Glenmore Barrows. Find it and you'll get paid. He gesticulates with his hands, pointing his fingers as if counting something. Judging from experience, I was thinking 60 crowns in advance, another 240 when the job is done. Yeah, pay's not great, but that is exactly the kind of job we need right now. I think that will actually fulfill our current ambition, as long as we can actually take down the ruined farmhouse after. Yeah, I think the issue with the other 2 camps we took out, the ones north of the mountain range there, is that we never technically discovered them, not personally. They were revealed as part of those contracts. Whereas this one, we actually do have to go out and find. The big question, of course, being whether we can reasonably take it out afterwards. Oh, wow, Glenmore Barrows is actually all the way over here, but... No, he said southeast. Hey, there we go. Ruined Farmhouse comes into view, and it's immediately reborn upon your map to the best of your illustrative capabilities. Rassel Russell asks if that's all there is to do. You nod. A rough go or an easy one, as Bjorn the Younger will be waiting to pay you, all the same. Let's get a gander at this place. Oh, okay. I mean, not the most exciting fight, but we can definitely handle a few Wiedergangers. Though, we will hedge our bets before we head in there. We've got a couple of Tier 2 cleavers. Might as well get some use out of them. Fatigue might be an issue. We'll have to keep a close eye on that. But here we go. As the raiders pack up to leave, they spy movement near the ruined farmhouse. Curiosity piqued, they move in closer for a better look. only to find themselves beset upon by the ruined structure's equally ruined but alarmingly animate former inhabitants. Dead eyes lock on the raiders' line, former farmers lurching and limping as they move to close the gap. Their bodies are battle-scarred and broken, but no obvious sign as to what did them in is borne on their forms. Brigands, perhaps? Barbarians? Or something stranger still? The question is seemingly answered as the last few figures detach themselves from nearby shadows. The rattle of tattered chains, heralding the arrival of two undead brigands. No doubt those who once preyed upon the unfortunate farmers, only to fall and rise once again, as the same undead abomination they condemned their prey to be. Bowman fires off a volley of arrows, the last one sinking, fletching deep in the chest of a rotting farmhand. The rest of the raiders hold steady, weapons gripped, shields raised, and mere seconds later, the first of the mindlessly malevolent creatures lurches into their line. This actually doesn't look that bad. The undead bandits bring up the rear. Perhaps some spark of their original cruel cunning remains? Or perhaps they're simply the most weighed down by the remnants of their gear. Who's to say? The raiders don't question it. They simply go about their grim work. Blades slashing and polearms flashing, as the staggering sepulcherites are met in battle. Verlin hacks away at one fruitlessly, the single-edged cleaver in his grip, carving its face away into a grotesque grin. And Random finishes it off, driving it into the ground like a fence post with his whirling flail. Bowman fires into the mortally impaired mob. A figure is set to staggering, and Drakiith cuts it down. Trip leapfrogs the line, cutting down an undead farmer in passing. Whilst Rev and Eerie engage a bandit on the north. An unarmed figure runs recklessly into the midst of the raiders' formation. Annie smashes her current foe down, then turns her attention to this undead interloper. Random pushes up, boxing them in. Val pincushions the unarmed undead. Javelins grotesquely framed by the bared bones of its broken ribs. One of the fallen figures starts lurching back to its feet, but Rook swiftly puts it back down. On the north, the first of the undead bandits falls. The second, soon to share its fate. A well-placed strike from Eerie, and a headless corpse tumbles. And Annie strikes down the last. The ruined farmhouse is still once more silent as a grave. Hey, okay. I mean, considering how easy the fight was. We'll take our second scram of sacks and our signet ring. And hopefully that should also free up our ambition slot. Though I do notice it hasn't cleared just yet, which is unfortunate. Oh, spoke too soon. An ambition fulfilled! It sounded like a good idea at the time, but tramping around in the wilderness without a map or any destination in mind turned out to be quite a strenuous way to find riches, or even a battle. Your footsore band did eventually come upon a worthy target, though, and everyone had to agree the venture was worthwhile after all. Annie is almost glowing with satisfaction as they survey the few remaining embers of the ruined farmhouse. They hadn't the merest clue we were coming. Like wheat before our scythes, brothers. Revenant raises an eyebrow. Speak for yourself. I'm no farmer. Oh, Rev, you wacky jackanape. All right, ambition fulfilled, and just in time, too. We actually just pulled a level up on King's Rook, so we'll actually sit on that for a moment in hopes we can immediately unlock the Sergeant ambition next. And we'll go ahead and set his stat gains. We'll take morale, obviously. We'll grab that max in melee. I am very tempted by that fatigue. So, you know what? With 3 stars in defense, I think we can afford to skip one. We do still need to shore up his health as well. I mean, we're going to have to skip defense every once in a while. At least if we want to bump up some of these other numbers. That aside, he's actually doing okay as far as defense goes. He is well ahead of the rest of the raiders. But yeah, long term I'd like to get him up to like 30 defense, 100 plus initiative, 80 plus fatigue after gear, and you know, at least 80 plus on melee, which I think is pretty achievable. Oh, Alps. Oh shoot, are we... I mean, only 3. I think that's pretty doable. And it would get us a really nice potion. Oh no, not if they travel faster than we do. Okay, no, scratch that. Stop, stop, stop. No way we catch up with them before daybreak. Man, really wish I'd reacted faster when they first popped into view. You report to Asbjorn the Younger, telling him of the ruined farmhouse's location. He nods and states that his tracker confirmed that as well. Seems to be pretty standard protocol, really. You collect your pay and go on your way. Oh, does Snowstorm actually boost demand? Ooh, look at that. Okay, you know what? This is actually a great time to sell off some excess gear. One sec, let me take care of some quick bookkeeping. And we're back. Ever so slightly lighter on gear, but heavier on gold. But we could always use more, so let's see what this other job might be. A servant bids you to wait for Berthold the counselor, who, he says, will be right with you. And so you wait, and wait, and wait. And finally, as you are about to leave for the second time, Berthold the counselor throws open the doors and rushes towards you. Who is this again? The mercenary? The assistant nods, and Berthold the counselor sets on a smile. Oh, most fortuitous to have you in Agerstead, good captain. It is imperative that some precious commodities of mine reach Damwald as safely and quickly as possible. You are precisely who I need, for no common brigand would dare attack you and your men. Yes, I'd like to hire you for escort. Make sure the items are delivered to Gebbard the Wise. No detours, of course. Can we come to an understanding? I mean, we're not headed back to Damwall just yet, but that's not a bad job to have on tap. He smiles. This will make you a rich man, my friend. It's 280 crowns when the contract is done. I mean, that's like 1.5 days payroll, but sure. Alright, well, we'll tentatively accept, but put a pin in it. We'll hit up Tonder, see if they have a better job on offer. And then, if not, then we'll double back. Perhaps grab this on the way back out. And hopefully by then, the snowstorm will have passed, so we can potentially get some better prices on those pelts. That'll give us an excuse to pass through Oberberg, too. I think they had salt? Tangval's the one that had the best trade goods, though. But it's also kind of out of the way. Road seems clear. No footprints, no signs of recent battles. But we do have missing people. And a 2-skull contract, no doubt, linked to it. Alright, yeah, let's give it a gander. Wilfred the Younger's got a satchel with a scroll attached, but the name written on the paper is not yours. He weighs it carefully, the lumps of coin curving about his fingers, their chinks and chanks muted. He turns to you. You recognize that name? You shake your head. The man continues. A week ago, we sent the famed Sir Steinhardt of here to go hunt down some foul beasts that have been terrorizing the town and surrounding farmsteads for weeks. Do you know why this satchel has remained in my ownership? You shrug and answer. Because he hasn't returned? Wilfred the Younger nods and sets the satchel down. He sits on the edge of his table. Correct, because he has not returned. Now why do you think that is? I think it's because he's dead, but let's not be so negative. I think it's because the beasts out there require more. I think they require someone like you, Sellsword. Would you be willing to help us now that this nobleman has failed? I can certainly give it a try. What was he getting paid? He nods. Yes, good. He was being paid 650 crowns, but for your assistance, we'll offer 710. Just do a better job than he did. That we will, though I do have to wonder exactly what it is we're up against that's worth 710 crowns. Possibly our first unhold. Yeah, I don't think they use quite the same monster pool for northern terror missions. Though it is headed south, so I mean it could be something else. Hey, nice, there's our ambition. And we do indeed have the option for Sergeant, so that of course is the one we'll take, since we've got guaranteed immediate completion. Need to get our new drill sergeant up and running too, but that'll be next. That or getting our roster up to 12 men. Both relatively simple to achieve. And we've got direwolves. Right, let's pull them back towards the road. Try to engage on clear terrain. As the sun sets beyond the snow-capped mountains, a sudden howl shatters the silence of the chill air. The hunters have become the prey, and the raiders quickly regroup on the nearby road. But before they've quite reached it, the pack is upon them. Shields raised, just barely holding off the fury of furry, frenzied figures. Arrows fly wide, the initial strikes falling short. Strategy gives way to sheer, panicked savagery. But Drakiith lands the first solid blow, shearing a creature's ribs open, sending it howling and growling across the bloodied snow. Eerie finds his footing as well, distracting a beast long enough for Revenant to put out its eye. Wrestle plunging his pitchfork into a wounded beast's chest. Val, perhaps the most experienced with this sort of hunt, pierces the wounded beast as well, shattering its morale. He arcs his second toss higher, striking a glancing blow against a second beast, eager to take the first one's place. The rest of the raiders brace themselves, lest they be lost amidst the frenzied tide. Two of the beasts break, but the rest surge forth. Claws flash, fangs gnash. Shields are battered, armor torn. A scrabbling claw finds its way neath Trip's shield, tearing at his calf and ankle. Muscle shredded, bone bared. Rook quickly comes to Trip's aid, piercing a wolf's chest with the point of his pike. Trip hunkers behind his shield. While Drakiith moves to his aid, lashing at another beast. Eerie tears at one that's found its way to the center of the formation. Wrestle pierces another, driving sharpened tines between bloodied ribs. Berlin batters a beast senseless, whilst Danny whirls, cracking a beast's ribs. And Random finally batters one wounded wolf to the ground. Finding himself menaced, Valen holds back for a moment, waiting for his allies to give him a proper opening. One beast tries to flee, and Annie swiftly strikes it down. Then another as well. The pack as one turns to flee. But they're given no such opportunity, as the raiders deftly strike them down, one after another. Rook puts his pike through one beast's neck, holding it steady just long enough for Arrow to finally strike it down. He whirls, planting an arrow into a second. The beast drops with a feeble growl. Wrestle pins another beast by the leg, giving Eerie time to put it down. And Drakiith sets into the last, he and Annie warily circling the beast, seeking to cut off its escape. The rest of the raiders rush forward. A surly yelp as a javelin pierces the beast's muscled flank. And finally, it falls. To random, it would seem, though it's Revenant and Eerie who learn the most from this particular fray. And sadly, such was the savagery of their counterattack, that the raiders find precious little to pick over amongst the remains. Which is a shame. It would have been nice to actually start putting together some direwolf mantles. Though I suppose if we're going full initiative, hyena mantles are probably a better bet. Though, you know, obviously this early on we'll take whatever we can get. That said, let's go ahead and knock out these level ups, and yeah, as our first to hit level 5, or our first frontliner rather, I think we will grab either Pathfinder or Recover. Honestly, I'm kind of tempted to go with both. We're definitely kind of leaning into the whole dodge/initiative thing here, so both would be good. As would Relentless, but that's a lot of real estate. Let me think on that for a sec. Modest rolls will take the melee, we'll take the melee defense. And you know what? Let's take that max roll in range defense, why not? We only rolled a 2 on fatigue. So with that in mind, yeah, let's go Recover. That'll help keep Eerie viable, at least a bit more viable anyway, during particularly long and protracted battles. Though I will say there is still some pretty strong temptation to go for at least one more, either Pathfinder or Relentless. But no hurry there. We'll take that max melee on Rev, though he did tank on the defense roll. We'll round out his health, push that above 60. And continue pumping his resolve since he is our backup bannerman. And you know what? Given that he is our backup bannerman, I guess we might as well mirror Rook's build and grab Rally. Both because he is our backup bannerman and because, generally speaking, given that Resolve is the weak point on an Anatomist crew, probably not a bad idea to have a second Rally on tap regardless. But after the event pops. You were unsure about assigning King's Rook to this important task, for he is a particularly peculiar individual, an esoteric anatomist. But King's Rook takes to his duties with a zeal that is at first admirable, and later worrying. Scoffing at dawn as the rising hour of the cowardly and infirm, King's Rook decides that everyone must start the day much earlier. He runs the men through the usual sparring routines and checks their equipment for splits and wear. But to such light work he adds strict rules about setting up and breaking camp, formation drills, lessons on flanking, forced marches with stones in their packs, and a detailed punishment regime for anyone who dares fall behind. Words such as backbreaking, cruel, flint-hearted, and merciless, as well as dozens of saltier epithets, ring in the air whenever King's Rook is safely out of earshot, though never when he is sleeping. For the brothers have learned that King's Rook the Sergeant never truly sleeps. And King's Rook the Sergeant returns. Always did feel bad about cutting his tenure short back in Season 2. But hopefully this should make up for it. You know, as long as it lasts. I mean, someone's gonna die eventually. Hopefully not our bannerman, but, you know, if it does happen to come to pass, we'll at least have Rev ready to step up and take his place. Though honestly, if anyone's gonna die, I think Rev is more likely than Rook. He's only got 11 defense. Anyway, Back to Tonder. Wilfred the Younger is feeding one of his dogs when you return. I take it the job is done, he asks as you toss the direwolf pelt onto his table. Good, good. 710 crowns, was it? You should know that you've brought peace to the people of Tonder. You nod and accept your pay. Man, we're getting a lot more repeat narrative blurbs than I'm used to. Just the nature of RNG, I suppose. Might as well grab a little extra food while we're here. I think we're okay on everything else, though. I mean, low on tools, but we can probably get better prices in Oberberg. So yeah, off we go. Back to Agerstead. We'll grab that parcel. Then juke south through the wilderness towards Oberberg. Hopefully find a barbarian camp en route. I would really like to grab some extra heavy throwing weapons for Val. Hey, nice. Got our second retinue slot too. Haven't even used the first one yet, but the more the merrier. So 2 out of 5 unlocked. And I'm thinking, well, obviously the drill sergeant first. That's one you want unlocked as early as possible. Though second, given the nature of our crew, we'll probably go to blacksmith. Both for the faster and cheaper repairs, but also just to preserve that precious plague doctor gear that is otherwise very difficult to replace. In fact, you know what? As long as we're here, I might as well go ahead and make sure we meet the prereqs for the blacksmith. One sec. Let me just scrounge our gear, find some cheap stuff to patch. And we're back. Obviously can't afford him just yet, but we do at least now qualify to recruit the blacksmith. So yeah, current plan is to do a few more jobs, load up on trade goods, head south, and then hopefully we can pick up both the drill sergeant and a blacksmith. Ideally we can get that done by day 30-ish. That's it. Let's push south. We'll hook through Glenmore Barrows en route to Oberberg. Ooh, hideout of the Necromancer. So that's like 8, 10 Wiedergangers plus the Necromancer. We just took out a group of similar size, but no Necromancer. You know what? Let's go for it. Can't sit on the fence forever. Gotta take some chances. To those who are about to die, etc., etc. As they once more cross the Glenmore Barrows, the raiders pause, spying another group of curious strangers loitering about. Another group of foul undead, though these move with greater purpose, unearthing yet more corpses at the behest of a mysterious, robed figure. Alright, there we go. We've got eyes on. Bowman points and shouts his prey in sight. The rest of the raiders rush forward, rallying on his position. They need but stem the sepulchral tide long enough for Bowman to land a single well-placed shot. And in response, the malevolent Magister gestures towards a nearby Wiederganger. Its eyes alight, its sluggish movements suddenly spry and unnaturally swift. Framed against a convenient column, the Raider's line is set. Shields at the ready, weapons held firm, and the shambling horde spills towards them. An unnaturally energized corpse clatters and clambers over the terrain. A surprisingly swift strike of its sword, bypassing random shield. The rest of the horde lurches forth in more lackadaisical style, and Bowman takes aim. But his shot falls short. The unnaturally animate swordsman continues, savaging random with blow after blow. Rook pushes it back with a point of his pike. Drakiith lays into it as well. Up and down the line, blades rise and fall. Rotted flesh split, bones bared. As that which is already dead refuses to rest in peace. Verlin steps up. A sweep of his cleaver, and a foe's head falls. The sinister sorcerer sets his sights on a new scion. A shield-wielding Wiederganger advancing on the center of the line. Oof. And Random, perhaps still off balance, continues taking a beating. The restless dead begin wrapping around the column to the north. Bowman once again takes aim. An arrow arcs, slashing across the caster's face. Ragged flesh hangs loosely in tatters. Something sinister shifts beneath. Drakiith rushes forward, joining Verlin and clearing a path. Meanwhile, in the north, Rev seeks to turn back a terrible tide. Another corpse approaches, its eyes aglow. The raiders quickly set into it. And yet it still stands. Until Valen pins it to the earth with a well-placed projectile. Annie fells another, then jukes back, covering the northern flank. Verlin's blade flashes, another head falls. Bloodied and winded, Random fights on. And foes already felled once again rise. Caught off guard, Random yelps as an errant spear thrust tears the bear cap from his head. Blood seeps down split scalp. Bowman is menaced. Rook tries to desperately direct the assault. Drak strikes one down. And meanwhile on the north, Rev and Annie continue to tenuously hold the line. Bird-like beak tilted. A backhand sweep of Erie's cleaver decapitates two freshly risen foes. Annie holds on the north, if just barely. Shield ready and raised. Valen tosses the last of his javelins, reaching for his bundle of axes next. And the raiders buckle down, trying to clear the path to the wayward wizard and back. Oh boy, Annie might be in trouble. Finding himself free, Bowman takes aim. And with that shot, an arrow pierces the necromancer's black heart. He gurgles and tumbles. The demonic force driving him fled, abandoning its mortal host to his fate. And with his demise, the remaining Wiedergangers go slack-jawed, but no longer guided by that sinister intelligence. Simpler prey, though certainly not harmless. And thus the raiders continue their grim work. Bloodied and battered, but hopefully soon to be victorious. Annie holds steady, bleeding from shallow gashes, but still going strong. Verlin, exhausted, takes a moment to catch his breath. Random strikes down the last on the south, then stumbles away. Another starts to rise, only to swiftly be pinned to the earth by a well-placed arrow. Rook puts one down on the north. And the rest of the raiders rush to the northwest, rallying to Annie's aid. The battle is almost won. But will it be won fast enough? Another falls to Rev's Warfork. Annie wavers, shield dipping, exhaustion setting in. Random circles wide, bloody and battered, but still ready to rush in if need be. Bowman circles left. Rook to the right. Another Wiederganger felled. Chain links fly with every savage strike. The Wiedergangers literally hacked to pieces, and yet still stubbornly fighting on. Until finally, a heavy axe buried in its chest, the second to last falls. The last continues to stubbornly hack away at Annie's shield. A spearman rouses, Revenant stumbling as he quickly scrambles out of its way. Rook runs it through, haft twisting in his grip as he drives it back to the ground. Warrior is unleashed, the hirsute brute clamping its jaws down on the restless remains. The Wiederganger thrown off balance. The rest of the raiders circle. And he staggers, armor in tatters. But with one last swing, the final foe falls. Whew, my goodness. A victory well earned, which nets us a precious new elixir, the King in Chains. Of the many weapons at a man's disposal, the most deadly is surely his mind, and in no figure is this more apparent than the dreaded necromancer. With this mixture, that frightful intellect can descend to the grasp of even the common man. Plus 20% XP gain. No idea who I'm giving that to, but we need to give it to someone soon. Maximize that potential boost. And then beyond that, some precious trinkets, about 2,000 gold worth. An extra Scramasax, decayed heater, a couple of kettle helms. Not bad. Padded kettle helm's a bit heavier than I'd like, but we can still make good use of it. That's it. Let's knock out these level ups real quick. Level up per Val. And I think we've got to go dodge just to help keep him safe. Yeah. As for stats, +4 to range, no question there. We'll also bolster that health. Rolled kind of poorly on the rest of the secondaries, so maybe we'll just take that +3 in range. Or +2 in melee. I mean, could go melee attack, but that feels like kind of a waste for a thrower. We do need fatigue, but that roll's just too low, so yeah, we'll go melee defense. As for random, no question there. We go for recovery. He was definitely sucking wind in that fight. Max roll on melee, and mid roll on defense. That's going to come back to haunt him later down the line. And let's say +4 fatigue. Honestly, might be kind of moot. I hate to say it, but Random's already struggling a bit with survivability. Not sure how much longer he's going to last. But we'll see. Also, we are completely out of arrows. My goodness. We'll have to start stockpiling a bit heavier for Bowman and Val. And back in Overberg, which feels like a good place to call it. Not a bad day's work, raiders. Got slightly tripped up with that leg wound, but otherwise no casualties. Some pretty solid loot, nice gear upgrades, a new potion, a few more level ups under our belt, a new sergeant sashaying about. We'll hit the pause button for now. I'll take care of the usual off-screen bookkeeping, liquidate our excess loot, restock on supplies, get ourselves ready to go. And we will pick up here next time as we hit Damwald, finish up our current run, then figure out where we're going from there. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, Arrow Bowman, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz, Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.